it's Sharon Armstrong. We are going to be making this card today on the video, and of course it's the final card in the May online Flourishing Phrases class. These are the cards that go in the box, and this is, you got your instructions and measurements and everything on the PDF tutorial that you were emailed. So I wanted to remind you, this was the box that we made on the first video that's going to hold everything. And remember this little piece right here? I told you that it was really too long and that you were going to cut it off. Here's why. Because you're going to be using it on this card, okay, on this next card. And then on the previous video, I cut out the very vanilla. Remember the one that I didn't measure the layer correctly? So on that cutout piece, I used it on this card. 2 cards in 1. Gotta love it. All right, so you'll be using that from the previous card. You're gonna be using this from your box. You'll get a little piece of ribbon. You'll get a punched out circle, and you'll get the very vanilla layer, and it looks like I cut it again. Boy, what was I doing? I cut everything just perfectly. And then you'll get the tip top taupe. So let me trim this up real quick. I should have checked that before this video since I did it for the first time, but we'll cut it down. So it's 3 3/4 by 5. Most of my layers are in 1/4 inch increments. I just prefer that instead of doing like 3/8 and 5/8 and all of that, but sometimes I do. So okay, all right, so now we got our layers right. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so let's do our stamping. And let me get my card back. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the card that we're doing. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is and you'll get some copper threading in your kit as well. So the first thing I want to do is ink up my vines and flowers and leaves and all of that. And I'm just going to stamp that, oh, kind of at an angle, about like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean this off because I'm going to be using it again, but I'll be using it with the Versamark instead of the green ink. So make sure you clean that or you'll have green ink in your Versamark pad. So I'm going to set that aside, and on this little circle on my sample card I have thank you very much, but I needed just a note card. So I'm going to change my sentiment. It's totally up to you if you want to stick with what the sample does. You could put anything on there that would fit. Several of the stamps, the sentiment stamps in that stamp set do fit. So I'm going to go ahead and write just a note, and I stamped it upside down. I can tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn it over because I forgot to use my embossing buddy. Ha ha. So, you know, that's the best thing about the Stampin' Up cardstock is that it's 2 sides. Okay, so this time we want to stamp it the correct way. And I'm stamping more up towards the top of my circle. And then so here's a tip, like I know I cleaned this stamp, but I'm going to be inking it up in the Versamark. So I like to just huff on it, a little hot air, you know, I can talk. So that just kind of cleans my stamp even more. I don't know if that really works with the photopolymer stamps. I know it does with the red rubber. So, okay, so I'm just going to stamp. And it's really hard to see because it's Versamark. Oh, I did pretty good. Okay, so we're going to pour some copper embossing powder on it. And then we'll heat it up. Oh, I see a little bit of copper up there. Probably from my fingers. Okay, isn't that pretty? So pretty. You know me and that copper. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do, we're going to pull this piece back out, and we're going to use our embossing buddy over the whole thing. Do you remember on one of the videos I didn't do it over my stamped image and I got a little bit of copper on there? But I set this aside to dry while I did the circle one, so surely I'll be okay and I won't have that problem. Let me wipe off my fingers. That embossing buddy gets so messy. All right, so then we're going to take our flower stamp and we're going to ink that up with the Versamark. Really well. And then we're going to stamp that about right there. This pop of copper on this is just stunning. Stunning! Pour a little bit of powder. Actually, I always pour a lot. Okay. And it doesn't matter that I stamped over the leaves because you're not going to be able to see it that well. And if I did, it's okay. Gorgeous. Can't you see? Just gorgeous. Okay. And so you really can't see my leaves very well anyway. So, all right. So now let's pull out our circle again. Let me move this powder over before I knock it off. And I'm going to put a lot of fast fuse on the back of this. This fast fuse is some really heavy duty glue. So I'm going to be doing some layering and I want to make sure that my words are going the right way. Okay. So I want to take that piece of ribbon and I'm going to take my I column ribbon scissors. Stampin' Up doesn't even sell these anymore. It just kills me. And I'm just going to fold that ribbon in half and I'm going to snip a little tail. See? Ta-da! All right. So again, I want this to come off of here this way. Okay. And then I'm going to add my little piece that I had, kind of overlapping that with the ribbon. And then I'm going to take my copper thread. And this stuff is so fun. It's hard to really work with, but you're just going to loop this around your hand several times, around your fingers. And let's see if I can cut left-handed. Okay, I did pretty good. All right, so then what I want to do is I want to kind of loop this to where it's coming. So I'm kind of playing with it with my fingers. I just want the ends to be tucked in. I'm sure you can't even see this on the video, but because it's so fun. Something that might help you with this thread too is even tweezers, you know, I mean, just whatever. So I kind of want a little bit more showing. So you can kind of play with it and loop it out the way you want. There we go. Now we got a good loop going. Okay. So you can kind of see it maybe a little bit. I got my end loose again. I'm telling you, this stuff is so super fun to work with, but boy, does it add elegance to your cards. Just really does. Okay, all right, so I'm pretty happy with my loops. And now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Oh, we got two there, 2 for 1. I was going to put 3, but it's going to end up being 4 because I want them spread out. And again, you know how I stick my fingernails in the backing to release it? All right, before we add this piece, let's go ahead and attach all of our layers. So this is that tip top taupe that I just love. And then we'll add this layer. Okay, and then we'll add our sentiment right there. There you have it, my friend. Oops, I forgot this. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see if I can still add it. Surely I can. Oh, so silly. I'm glad I looked up. Yay! All right. So I'm going to kind of stick this like this. I'm going to stick it down that way. And then I'm going to kind of pull those flowers up some. And that little piece that's sticking down, I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. And since I didn't put it on with the multi-purpose glue, I'm just going to grab my little glue dots. I'm telling you, I'm the queen of boo-boos, man. I can fix something after I've put it all together. And I'm just going to stick this down with this. Like that. And I kind of like leaving it up in certain spots. I think I mentioned that before. I just think it's such an elegant framelit. It just does so, it's just so pretty. Okay, I'm pretty happy now. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series.